That's when Krillin returns to the fight with a plan. The Z Fighters work together to do the one thing everyone always says that Krillin should do: the Solar Flare plus the Destructo Disc. Tien, Goku, and Krillin blank the monster, and Krillin cuts off his tail. As Vegeta tries to recover, Yamcha, Piccolo, and Gohan blast at Vegeta. The prince tries to get away, but once again the GOAT, Chaozu, comes in clutch, paralyzing Vegeta with a handle attack. That's some great teamwork. We gotta get more stuff like this from the Z Fighters. Still, Vegeta survives. In one last desperate gambit, Goku full Nelsons Vegeta with a special beam cannon combination, but Vegeta gets out of the way just in time, so only Goku gets hit. He's not dead yet. He can barely react as Vegeta goes on to take everyone down before he kills Gohan though. Goku gets up and uses all the energy he has left to blow Vegeta away. Despite all this beating, Vegeta is still alive, but escapes Earth thanks to Goku asking Krillin to let him go. Goku dies because of his injuries, but this means that he gets to visit King Kai. This is where things start to get a little more interesting. Since Piccolo is alive, there is no real reason to go to Namek, but he's still curious about where he comes from. So he kidnaps Gohan and goes to space. Can you imagine being Chi-Chi? Your husband just dies and your son disappears into space with a green man who tried to take over the world a few years ago. In a single month, Goku administers the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. But King Kai warns him that Vegeta is heading to Earth. The Z Fighters revive Goku and go to the wasteland to meet the prince. There, he declares that he wants the Dragon Balls for immortality, but of course, Goku refuses. Not that he could give them anyway, since he just got revived and the Dragon Balls should still be stoned. Vegeta attacks Goku, but as soon as the fight begins, it ends. As Vegeta suggests the unthinkable, a team-up. According to Vegeta, Frieza knows about the Earth Dragon Balls, and he's on his way. I'm surprised that King Kai noticed Vegeta, but not the massive ship heading towards Earth 2. If he did, then he would have probably told Goku not to get revived, because they're all doomed. Dr. Graves creates a gravity machine for Goku and Vegeta to train in. I'm assuming that Vegeta is also staying there, so maybe Trunks is a thing eventually. The day of Frieza's arrival, we get this sick shot of the Z Fighters all on the lookout. It's kind of funny that Chaozu's there, since it specifically says that Tien left behind. Frieza's forces start to show up, with Vegeta killing Whis. Dodoria and Zarbon then appear to confront the Saiyans. Zarbon mocks them for their race being killed by a mere meteor, only to get beat down. Vegeta also kills Dodoria when he tries to fly away, and we get no word on the revelation that Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta, so I guess in this timeline no one ever finds out. Then it's time for the Ginyu Force, but Vegeta says that they don't have time to keep fighting one by one, so all the Z Fighters are going to take on the Ginyu Force, despite the fact that in the actual game you still only play as Goku the entire time. But sure, thanks for taking on Gold Only, Dialogue Only, Krillin. Goku meets them and gives them a chance to leave. But as Vegeta does, he kills them anyways, except for Ginyu, who is ordered by Frieza to collect the Dragon Balls. Vegeta goes after him, but Frieza offers the Z Fighters a chance to join his army. Now that's what if I want to see, but they all refuse, and soon Vegeta returns. In a twist, Vegeta betrays the Z Fighters. At least he didn't trap them. This is actually Ginyu in Vegeta's body, but he's struggling to get a hold of his power, so he tries to switch bodies with Goku instead. The real Vegeta jumps in the way and gets his body back, but the captain keeps trying, this time aiming at Tien. Chaozu is really getting mileage out of his powers in this, when he uses them to switch Ginyu with a frog instead. Who in the development team had this love for Chaozu? And not that I'm complaining, I'm glad he's actually doing something. Krillin gives Vegeta and Goku sense beats to take on Frieza. Goku wants to do it alone, as Frieza reveals his second transformation. Goku's training and his new Kaioken pushes Frieza into his third form, ordering his men to attack Earth in retaliation. The human Z Fighters, including Roshi, come together to defend it in something like an early version of Resurrection M. They also give Goku one more sense beat for those sweet Senkai boosts. But as the fight goes on, it's clear that Goku and Vegeta can't win at this rate. But Goku does have a plan, the Spirit Bomb. During his fight, Frieza transforms into his final form, and Vegeta jumps in to give Goku a chance to charge the Spirit Bomb. This ends up turning into something like the Kid Buu fight, but against Frieza. It's a similar final trump card, with Vegeta buying Goku time. He even gives something of a "you are number one" speech. It's cool because it's so different from the normal one, because, well, Vegeta is vastly different. He talks about how Goku is a Saiyan unlike any other, who cares about his friends and family. Vegeta is nothing like that. So everyone gives energy to Goku, but before Goku can use it, Frieza realizes their plan and gets ready to shoot Goku down from the sky. Just then, Frieza is blasted by Gohan and Piccolo, who use the mission of the Namekian Dragon Balls to get back home. This is just what Goku needed to finally unleash the Spirit Bomb and kill Frieza once and for all. The legend of the Super Saiyan remaining just that. Also, Dende's here for some reason, and he heals everyone. Vegeta turns to leave, saying that their allegiance ends here, leaving to space. Goku is sure that Vegeta will return one day to cause trouble, but they will be ready. The story ends here, but with some massive implications. Goku obviously doesn't have Super Saiyan and no instant transmission, since he never went to Yardrat. I wonder if King Cold arrived to get Frieza's body. Did they have to fight him too? And as I said before, Vegeta did spend some time at Capsule Corp, so maybe Trunks is still a thing. If Goku wasn't the first Super Saiyan, then maybe Vegeta was. Either way, it's a pretty fun what if that starts pretty simple, but becomes something actually more interesting. Once we get into the Frieza arc, it feels more like a combination of Resurrection F, Boo, and Namek, working surprisingly well. The best part is the Z Fighters being more involved and getting a chance to shine. Of course, the original Namek arc is a straight continuation of the Saiyan arc, but it's taking place on Earth on similar locations. It makes it feel more connected, if you will. I also want to point out these awesome pins Zen Monkey sent to me. They make really cool, officially licensed pins and more. I especially love this Painterly Goku one. They have a lot in this art style, and they're just amazing. If you want to get some for yourself, you can click the link below and use code SMUNK10 for 10% off while supporting the channel. And now back to the show. There's some smaller what-ifs here and there that don't really amount to anything, and are just really there as alternate endings. This is probably the most random of them, but I guess it's neat to have. Goku has arrived on Namek just in time to stop the Ginyu Force. He takes down Raccoon and faces Jaice and Murder. The change here is simple. Instead of beating Murder first, it's Jaice. So the Blue Speedster escapes, making his way to Captain Ginyu, only to have Vegeta kill him. It's cool that it's here, but there's just very little to it. Another small what-if. In this one, Goku beats Frieza without the Spirit Ball. In my case, he just shot a tiny Kibble at him. We get a bait and switch where Krillin gets scared, and I actually thought Frieza was gonna come back anyways. But no, he just forgot about Bulma. This means no Super Saiyan, no Namek exploding. Goku says they can still revive everyone killed, even Vegeta. Since Goku is returning to Earth, this also means no instant transmission, but more time to train with the others. If they do revive Vegeta, they better do it on Namek, because he's just gonna wake up and press the Namekians into give him the Dragon Balls again. Without Super Saiyan though, things are looking grim. The first what if in the Android arc, we start at the point where Vegeta and Trunks are training in the Time Chamber, while Piccolo fights Cell and the androids. Goku senses that he's in trouble. That's when we get the option of either waiting things out like in canon, or saving Piccolo from Cell and stopping him once and for all. So in this one, Goku doesn't much go on. Instead, he teleports both himself and Gohan before the androids, facing Cell while Gohan takes Piccolo away. This is a Goku who still hasn't mastered Super Saiyan. Gohan doesn't even have it. So against all these androids, it's quite a bit of a disadvantage. Also, isn't it weird that Goku never saw First Form Cell in canon? 17 wants Cell to be his to beat, but Goku intervenes anyways. It's a hard-fought fight, but through it, both Tien and Android 16 join in to defeat Cell. If Cell ends up hitting you with a solar flare, then he gets the chance to absorb 17 and 18, transforming into Zemnis. My editor forgot to turn up the fonts, and you get put into the canon path. But if you do beat him, then a whole major crisis is averted. But now the androids are exactly where they wanted to be, in front of Goku. 17 and 16 are pretty damaged, but they can't back away now. 18 insists to be the first one to fight since she hadn't gotten to yet, but she stops the battle once her clothes get too dirty. So it's 17's turn. He says that fighting Goku is actually a great time, but eventually realizes that he can't beat him. So the twins get ready to leave, but 16 remains quiet and solemn. His programming is just telling him that he needs to complete his mission, attacking Goku without warning. The Saiyan doesn't have a lot of energy left. He can't even keep up Super Saiyan. A neat detail here is that 16 in this fight specifically aims to self-destruct, really sticking to the whole programming thing. In the end, Goku wins, but fights defensively the entire time, since he doesn't actually want to hurt 16. 17 realizes that 16 isn't using his full power. He could have destroyed the whole island if he wanted to, revealing that he really wanted to protect nature. Goku also notices that though he can't sense his ki, he does feel the lack of killing intent. Otherwise, 16 would have killed him during the Cell fight. Well, Goku, tell that to all the other Gokus who lost their lives to his self-destruct. 16 resigns to continue traveling with 17 and 18, and leaves Goku alone. Krillin lands to see that everyone is safe. asking about Android 18. Goku says that he's sure the androids will come back, but the question is, will they be friends or foes? Everyone is safe and sound. The threat of Cell is stopped a lot earlier, and Goku gets to live onto the board. So, no fusion dance. Maybe not even a Super Saiyan 3. I think Goku and Gohan would have still gone into the time chamber and trained. Or, at least Goku would have wanted to. I'm sure that over the 7 years, Goku and Vegeta would have a rematch and continue to train, probably unlocking Super Saiyan 2. So, I really doubt Majin Vegeta would happen, and without that, probably not Buu at all. I'm thinking Gohan would also train more with his dad being around. It's a fun little story, but mostly because of Goku and 16's interaction. Reminds me of the What If story from Tenkaichi 3, where he fights him. I think 16 is a pretty underused character, and there's more you can do with him, so I hope we see him more in the future. The second Android arc What If is what happens during the match between Perfect Cell and Goku, if you beat him fast enough. Rather than Goku giving up against the android, he perseveres and actually manages to defeat Cell. They all celebrate their victory and Gohan goes home. There's a funny moment here where Gohan tiptoes around where Goku is, so Chi-Chi thinks that he just died, only for Goku to teleport back in. So Goku gets to live. It's a cute scene and particularly heartbreaking when you take into account what actually happens in canon. Like I said before, Goku probably continues to train with Gohan more and eventually goes in. Honestly, this is one of the easiest fights in the game, so I actually had to turn down the difficulty to get the canon path, because I kept killing Cell over and over. Honestly, I think this is the most wasted opportunity. We did 2 versions of Goku not dying against Raditz, but we can't get a little more with the Cell one? This is the one What If path that I really think should have been explored further. A timeline where Goku lives those 7 years has huge implications, and it's one you can only really do in the Goku storyline. So I hope one day we get What Ifs that go further into the storyline. This one is all about Goku being able to talk down Majin Buu from his evil ways. When he first shows up Super Saiyan 3, Goku can't turn anyone into a friend after all. It's fairly similar to the original story. Babidi yells at Buu mid-fight, so the Majin kills him, but this time in front of Goku. The Saiyan tells him that he doesn't have to keep doing evil things, and Buu actually agrees, as long as he gets sweets and strong guys to fight. So basically, Goku's taking the role of Mr. Satan here. At the lookout, Goku introduces Buu to everyone, and uses the Dragon Balls to bring things back to normal, plus make everyone forget about Majin Buu. We then cut to Capsule, where Majin Buu now lives, becoming Goten and Trunks' training partner. King Kai can't believe that Goku actually pulled this off, and we actually get some different characterization for Goku, since he didn't have to stay alive. This Goku is dead set on the idea of leaving things to the next generation of fighters, saying that Buu is the perfect rival to get to that point. It's a really simple what if, but with massive implications. If Buu ever gets angry enough, he's gonna spit out Grey Buu, and Super Buu will likely be born. Since Goku stays in other worlds, Gohan probably never gets his ultimate form, he likely never breaks the Sea Sword. But maybe Goku staying dead encourages Gohan to train more. But either way, Super is gonna be a lot harder for them. But I do like this notion, and it really makes me wonder about a Dragon Ball Super where Goku isn't around. That just sounds kinda crazy. It's also looking like Vegeta was revived, so it's at least not all hopeless for Super. And who knows, maybe Goku would have eventually want to come back. Sadly, there's no other more what ifs for Goku in this. We skip Battle of Gods to go straight into Resurrection F. This one little what if is just the ending of the film, but with less steps. Instead of Goku getting shot by Sorbet and Vegeta switching with him to fight Frieza until he blows up the planet and Whis turns back time, this version of Goku just kills Frieza. Yeah, he's about to blow up the planet and Goku stops it, and the story continues as normal. It's such a simple change and just kind of fruitless. It's especially disappointing since the obvious what if here to do in Resurrection F is having Vegeta properly defeat Frieza by himself. But Vegeta's storyline just ends in the Buu arc, so you can do something here, and it could have been more. This one is just kind of weird. What you have to do here is beat down Zamasu really fast, and then you have to beat Goku Black as well. It's probably one of the hardest fights in the whole story mode, but the reward is not really worth it. So Goku actually manages to defeat Black, and now comes face to face with the immortal Zamasu. Goku is fueled by the rage of knowing that his family was killed. He has to win. But Zamasu is immortal. Goku runs out of energy and loses. I really don't mind endings that go bad for our heroes, but this is so inconclusive. They don't even say if Zamasu kills Goku or anything. Did they not try anything else? They didn't try to go back in time and use the Makuba? If Goku did really get rid of Black first, then surely they can keep Zamasu away for long enough to figure out a plan. Also, I don't know what Vegeta and Trunks were doing the entire time, but they just kind of let this happen. It's just kind of bizarre. I guess without Black, then Zamasu never fuses, so if they do beat him, at least Trunks' universe never gets destroyed. We pick up on the Goku Black arc, where Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks fight Zamasu and Black. Just as they fused into Merge Zamasu, the three Saiyans come together to blast and kill him, despite the fact that he's immortal and should be spreading all over the universe now. It's not exactly explained how they get rid of him, so they could have used the Makuba, I guess? But hey, they did it, and the three Saiyans can rest. At least the shot at the end with the three together is nice. This one's just kind of weird because it doesn't actually have a conclusion. Trunks would remain in his regular timeline since Zamasu didn't corrupt it, already improving the ending of the saga, at least to some degree in my eyes. Thankfully, some of the other characters have better Black Arc what-ifs, so if you want me to cover those, be sure to let me know in the comments. It's worth noting that after this, there's 3 branching paths stemming from the recruitment before the Tournament of Power, where Goku can recruit either Tenshinhan 17 or Wu First. They don't really make much of a difference and are just a way to represent this section of the anime. The final what if Goku's story is a bit of a misnomer. The world's strongest warrior, he just won the Tournament of Power. He's every universe's strongest fighter. In this version of the ending, Goku has to defeat Jiren as quickly as possible, both forms. It's a simple change, with Goku pushing Jiren out of the arena by himself. The Tournament of Power has come to an end, with Universe 7 as the victors. Goku taking out Jiren by himself is insane as is, but sadly we don't really get much else from this what if. At least it's partially voiced. But we missed the chance to see Goku getting the wish from Super Shenron. That would have been a nice way to wrap things up. I doubt much else would change beyond that. Maybe Jiren is just crankier, I guess, I don't know. At least it's partially voiced. But we missed the chance of seeing Goku make a wish on Super Shenron. That would have really wrapped up things in a book. I doubt much else would have changed beyond that. Maybe Jiren a little crankier. It's nothing crazy, but that's the biggest thing about these what-ifs. I just really wanted them to take that extra step. Some of them do. The first 2 what-ifs in the Raditz fight, as well as the 16th one, do a little bit more, make things really a little more interesting. But there's many that leave you with so many unanswered questions that would have been definitely worthwhile exploring. And those were all the Goku what-ifs. His big ones are really fun, though other characters have changes that are more out there. For the first time in years, official Dragon Ball what-ifs were the core feature of the new Dragon Ball game. In Sparking Zero, I already broke down Goku's routes, but Vegeta's are some of my favorites. He gets to be a lot more than Goku's grumpy sidekick once in a while, from him rejecting the Majin power from Poverty to both him and Trunks defeating Cell. So today I'll be going through all Vegeta's what-ifs in Sparking Zero. We start off Vegeta's what-ifs with a really strong one. In the original, Vegeta isn't exactly the most helpful while training in the time chamber, but what if, once, Vegeta decided to be slightly more emotionally available? To get this path, we start off in the mission White Up Tall. There, Vegeta just finished making quick work of Android 19, with his brand new Super Saiyan. Now 17, 18, and 16 are all free, but Vegeta will make sure that these androids experience fear. The what if is triggered if you take down 18 fast enough, which is already a win for Vegeta's ego. But even with that, infinite energy is a little hard to beat. The classic win in the game, lose in the story. Vegeta performed a lot better than in the original. It now promises himself that next time they meet, he will have surpassed them. Goku also recovers a little quicker than normal, and they discuss their next step, the hyperbolic time chamber, knowing that there's something beyond Super Saiyan just around the corner. This is where some big changes begin. Vegeta is more determined than ever to defeat the androids, and whatever comes next. So he approaches Trunks in the time chamber. Normally, Vegeta ignores Trunks, and selfishly tries to find his own path beyond. But this time, Vegeta does want to train together, and while Trunks is honored by this, he's also cautious about hurting his father's pride, and wonders if he should keep the secret of the roided-out Super Saiyan Grade 3 to himself. Vegeta's experience and will shows through, and he pushes Trunks to the limit. The boy finally decides to show his father his new form. If you lose here, the timeline goes back to normal. But we're not gonna lose. Not as Super Vegeta. Trunks' Grade 3 severely hinders his movement, and Vegeta is able to take him down, teaching Trunks a lesson. The future warrior is grateful for the session, and thanks Vegeta, accidentally revealing his secret identity as Vegeta's son. But the prince isn't an idiot. He already figured it out a while back. I mean, Saiyan with purple hair? Who else was he gonna be? Turles' son? Trunks asks his father to continue training with him, and Vegeta accepts, realizing that they've hit the wall of solo training. As Whis explains in Dragon Ball Super, Saiyans training together yield unparalleled results, which just means that Saiyans on planet Vegeta must have been really antisocial. So the father and son duo go together training, getting stronger and stronger. With that, they're ready to take on Cell. But just like in the original, Vegeta lets Cell absorb 18, but Trunks isn't freaking out like normal. He lets his father do it, but is a little bit more cautious than Vegeta about the fate of the world. So Android 18 becomes one with the Cell.
Become one with the Cell. Check out my perfect form. It's perfect.
Beginning the fight between the perfect android and the Saiyan Prince, with Vegeta using Mastered Super Saiyan instead of Super Vegeta. Cell is enthralled by Vegeta's power and stops the fight halfway through. It seems like Jiro must have really been into the World Tournament, because no matter the timeline, Perfect Cell always wants to hold the Cell Games, which will inevitably end in his demise. In reality, Vegeta knows that there is something else he hasn't tapped into yet, and Cell wants to see it for himself. Thus, the Cell Games are announced. Vegeta and Trunks enter the time chamber once more, until their day arrives. Maybe Cell didn't announce the tournament to the whole world, since Mr. Satan doesn't seem to be here, and Vegeta is the first one to step up. Cell has been itching for a rematch, his Saiyan side really showing through. By Trunks not letting up, pushing Vegeta to the brink. Looks like the Cell Games may continue for a few more rounds in the shape Vegeta is in, as he fires a blast to end the reign of the Prince once and for all. The attack never reaches Vegeta. It's instead intercepted by Trunks jumping in front of his father, receiving the blast in his place, and falling unconscious on the ground. Vegeta explodes in rage, finally awakening the next evolution for Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan Grade 5. What, you expected me to call it Super Saiyan 2? Fun fact, Goku was the one to name it that. Beforehand, it was known as Super Saiyan Grade 5. Anyways, Vegeta attacks Cell, and finishes him off with his most powerful Big Bang attack yet, not giving him a chance to breathe, let alone give birth to the Cell Juniors. But he doesn't celebrate the victory just yet. Instead, he rushes to the side of his son, holding him up and asking for a senzu bean, only to see the terrified eyes of Goku and the others. Cell has returned, even stronger than before. Cell's nucleus survived the Big Bang attack, and now his Saiyan DNA gave him an even bigger boost. But Vegeta settled defeating him with his new Super Saiyan 2. He's going the distance, and it's anyone's guess who will win. Cell prepares his Kamehameha to destroy the world, and Vegeta responds with a final flash. But the Saiyan's energy is depleting quickly. It doesn't seem like he's going to make it, when suddenly, Trunks jumps to his father's side. The father-son final flash overwhelming the android little by little. Trunks tries to thank Vegeta for helping him get so strong, but Vegeta scoffs at him. It wasn't because of him that he made it this far, but thanks to his own efforts. And together, they finish off Cell once and for all.
No! This cannot be!
The duo lay on the floor after the incredible battle, and Goku congratulates them. Trunks tells Vegeta that it's time to go home and see Bulma.
Let's go home. Mom's waiting for us. Of course.
And that's where this story leaves off for now. So Vegeta got quite a bit of character development beforehand. Goku stays alive and Vegeta's ahead of him. So I guess Majin Vegeta probably wouldn't happen, especially since the two rivals are there to keep pushing each other bit by bit. It's only a matter of time before Goku gets Super Saiyan 2, and Gohan had it hidden just beneath the surface. Hopefully he ends up keeping up training with his father around. With all the training they'll be doing, maybe they'll have an easier time with Majin Buu. What if you do happen to lose to Trunks in the time chamber and get kicked out to the main storyline? There is still another what if you can get against Imperfect Cell. In this story, Vegeta lets his pride get the better of him, and instead of training with Trunks, he just settles with Super Vegeta. But this time things are a little different than normal. Vegeta and Trunks Super Vegeta is vastly above Cell's second form, so Vegeta allows Cell to punch down and absorb 18. Trunks tries to get in the way and stop Vegeta, but it's too late. Android 18 is absorbed. The perfect android is born, but this version of Vegeta isn't going to let a simple upgrade deter his victory. As Vegeta says, "Perfectly ordinary is more like it." Instead of Cell playing around with Vegeta and regenerating from the final flash like it's nothing, we, as Vegeta, have to take down Perfect Cell as fast as possible, getting a clean shot into the perfect android, and killing Perfect Cell once and for all, along with all the androids he absorbed. I guess he must have just barely missed the nucleus in the original version. Realizing that he's truly moving through the Super Saiyan barrier, Vegeta is cockier than ever, claiming to prove that this is the power of Super Vegeta. But by doing so, he uses the accursed thumb pose, so he really ain't dirty right after Goku and Gohan stepped out of the time chamber. With a lot of these Cell are what ifs. Android 16 ends up surviving, but he's never really mentioned. But it would have been cool to have him around to the saga, since Goku is around to train with him for 7 years. I doubt Vegeta would accept the Majin power, would he? Which brings us to It's been 7 years since the fateful match between Gohan and Cell, and now the young Saiyan invites Vegeta and the others to the World Tournament. There, Goku will visit Earth for a single day. In order to prepare, Vegeta takes Trunks out to train. He has to be ready for the Super Saiyan bargain sale. This is one of the strangest ways to unlock a what if, and it's really easy to miss, since to get to this path, you don't do something in the Majin Vegeta stage. Instead, you have to fight Kid Trunks while taking as little damage as possible. Only then will the option to reject Bobby be granted to you. Was it that easy? By the game's logic, if Vegeta dodged that one punch, none of this would have happened? Anyways, Trunks praises his father for being so strong, as Vegeta reveals that he's never stopped training, even through his greatest hardships, showing a true change of heart. When Trunks looks sad that he won't get to go to a theme park, Vegeta still promises to take him regardless, a promise he would eventually fulfill in Dragon Ball Super Episodes 2, as long as he agrees to keep training together as Super Saiyans. So Trunks is not gonna get to hang out with Goten today. Overall, Vegeta seems to be in a better spot mentally than usual. Sure, Goku died and they never got a rematch, but he pushed it all away, continued training, and didn't get punched in the face by an 8-year-old. The day of the tournament arrives, with Goku and Vegeta drawing each other as their very first match. But when Popovich and Yamcha reveal themselves, the Saiyans have no option but to listen to the Supreme Kai and follow them to Bobby's ship. There, Vegeta gets frustrated at the Gohan versus Dabura fight, wanting to just challenge Kakarot instead. Sensing the anger in Vegeta, Bobby tries to tap into the darkness within him, whispering about the power he could finally have to face Goku. But thanks to us avoiding Trunks' punches, we get the option: take advantage of Bobby's brainwashing, or reject it to fight Kakarot with our own strength. So Vegeta thinks to himself, "No, not even Kakarot's death could kill my ambition. I will not resort to this." Babidi continues to use his magic on Vegeta, and all the Saiyans can do is encourage him to fight it off. Goku is about to reach out when the prince lifts his hand up to stop him.
Who the hell do you think I am? You fool! You're dealing with the proud prince of all Saiyans. And you actually believed you could control me?
It really is amazing to see Vegeta feel all of that power within him, pushed into Super Saiyan, only to spell out all that energy and manipulation, breaking away from Babidi's mind control on sheer force of will. For me, this is legitimately one of the rawest moments in the game. Like, no joke, I stood up when he powered through Babidi's mind control. I felt that. But that experience made him realize that he can't wait anymore. He doesn't need the Majin power. What he really needs is to settle the score with Goku once and for all. Goku's training in Otherworld and Vegeta's training on Earth have all led up to this. Goku can see the burning fighting spirit within Vegeta, but Babidi isn't going to just let them play around without giving energy to Majin Buu, summoning Dabura once more. But this time, Vegeta promises to kill Babidi and his minion underlings for insulting his pride. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta finishes off Dabura with a big bang attack, and he stops Babidi from escaping. By killing the wizard, Buu's resurrection is halted, and the universe is saved by none other than the Prince of the Saiyans. Somehow, they're able to destroy Buu's egg, which means this universe doesn't get those weird little Cyberman clones from Dragon Ball Daima. I do love Krillin and Piccolo have also calmed down from being stoned. Shin thanks the prince for his good work. he didn't do it for the universe or peace. Devora and Babidi were just in the way of what he truly wants. The rematch with Kakarot. Although the tournament is over, Goku approaches his old friend, the announcer, who is happy to hold an exhibition match for Goku and Vegeta in front of the full crowd. Goku reminds Vegeta that they can't go all out, so this will have to be a battle of pure skill and ability. Their friends and family cheering them on from the sidelines. The two Saiyans take their iconic battle poses.
This is it, Kakarot. Today I will prove who's the strongest Saiyan warrior of all.
Tell me this isn't peak Dragon Ball. No gods, not even transformations, just the two rivals going at it in front of the cheering crowd. And if it was up to me, something like this would be their final battle. Here, we get a spin of Vegeta's "You are number one" speech, but rather than coming to understand Goku's will, Vegeta reminisces on his own journey. When Goku died, the prince thought that his goal was out of reach, but he persevered, since he could still feel in his heart that they would eventually meet again. Goku can tell how strong Vegeta's gotten over the years, while the audience watches the most incredible tournament match ever, until finally, Goku is pushed out of the arena, and Vegeta is crowned the winner. Goku admits that Vegeta is the strongest one he's ever seen, finally settling the score as allies, rather than enemies, symbolized by their handshake. And so, the Z-Fighters gather together to spend what little time they have left with Goku, before he returns to Otherworld. As he says goodbye, Goku drops something huge, a power he discovered while being dead, Super Saiyan 3. In Vegeta's eyes, this means that he hasn't beaten Goku just yet, but he's still not discouraged. This is just a new mountain to climb. Goku tells Vegeta that maybe he should come to Otherworld, where there's a ton of amazing fighters, but Vegeta doesn't want to die just yet. Still, he tells Goku to never stop training, since the next time they see each other, they will have to battle in Otherworld. Goku leaves with Baba, and Vegeta is left with one final thought.
And I'll win then too, for I am number one.
With Goku remaining dead and no old Kai freed, things are very different going into Super Daima as well. I guess Dr. Einsu just stood there watching as Majin Buu was defeated. Maybe Vegeta is the one who goes into the Demon Realm first and discovers Super Saiyan 4 somehow. Looks like they'll have to get Tarble to do the God ritual, unless Whis forces Goku back to life. Without Goku to train and let out all that pent-up energy, I could see Vegeta forcing Trunks and, by extension, Goten to train more. Maybe even Gohan crashing his lectures to force him to fight and never taking no for an answer. Earth definitely has their hands full with Vegeta. Next up, we have a smaller what if, one where we pick up in the middle of the fight between Goku and Majin Vegeta. The prince knocks out Goku and heads to confront Majin Buu. I think it's really sweet here that he specifically wants to avenge Gohan, since his ki disappeared and he thinks he's dead. The fight begins, but Vegeta needs to finish off Buu as fast as possible without the final explosion to unlock this path. Ultimately, Vegeta is able to defeat both Babidi and Buu, regardless of the fact that Buu is clearly intact. It doesn't really get explained how he defeated Buu. Maybe he just screamed loud enough this time? I mean, if the final explosion didn't work, what insane power did Vegeta have to just beat the soul out of Buu? Either way, it was his wish to protect Trunks that pushed him into victory. With Babidi dead, the spell is lifted from Vegeta, and he is reunited with everyone. Trunks runs to his father, and with a rare smile, he lifts his son up in victory. And with that, Vegeta takes Trunks to a theme park. Of course, Gohan wasn't actually dead, since Buu is gone. The old Kai is never freed, and Gohan probably stopped his Caesar training early on. Poor Gohan. Oftentimes with these Buu Saga what-ifs, he ends up never getting ultimate, and Goku stays dead. Since the old Kai can't just give him his life, looks like Dragon Ball Super will be all about Vegeta. We have one final what-if adventure for the prince to go through, and it's a pretty fun one. This time we pick up after the battles against Gohan, soon after Vegeta tricked Buu into absorbing him, freeing his friends, and turning Super Buu into the original Majin Kid Buu. After destroying Earth, Buu follows Goku, Vegeta, Dente, and Mr. Satan to the world of the Kais for one final fight. Here we actually get to pick what we throw against Goku to see who fights first. Rock, scissors, or paper. Even if you do win, Vegeta ends up fighting Kid Buu for like 2 seconds, and then Goku demands to switch, and we'll watch him fight. Vegeta thinks to himself how he understands why Goku fights, and why he can always surpass his limits, because he is number one. Only for Goku to stop the fight and tell Vegeta that he can't beat Buu. He needs time to gather his ki, so it's up to Vegeta to handle Buu in the meantime. But in this what if, Vegeta takes it a little too far, and ends up nearly killing Kid Buu. While Goku took his sweet time, together Goku and Vegeta charged their most powerful attacks, the Big Bang and Kamehameha combination, completely wiping out Kid Buu and bringing peace to the universe. And with no time to waste, Vegeta turns to Goku and demands a rematch once more. I guess that since they were able to defeat Buu earlier, they have enough pent-up energy in the tank to keep going. On Earth, everyone is revived, and they can finally rest. Thanks to the wish to revive everyone, Vegeta is also back. Shin cannot believe that they'd rather keep fighting than rest after all that trouble. That's exactly it, as Vegeta says.
Of course, we're Saiyans. He's right, Supreme Kai. What I want more than anything is to fight Vegeta again.
Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Goku rush at each other to settle things once more. The two rivals turn friends, pushing each other little by little to overcome whatever wall is in front of them, even if it is each other. They both want the other to get stronger, because it only means they'll have a new challenge to overcome. And so, despite having weaker form, Vegeta is able to break past his limits and take down Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Still, he admits Kakarot is a freak of nature, the way he can fight, since Goku had just recently returned to life, and doesn't have his dead body to make up for the massive drain of Super Saiyan 3. Maybe this is why Vegeta was able to beat him once again. Goku returns the compliment to Vegeta, surprised that Super Saiyan 3 wasn't enough. When Vegeta walks up to his fellow Saiyan and gives him a hand up, Goku promises to get stronger and win next time. Vegeta knows it's only a matter of time before it happens, but that doesn't matter, because he'll just continue to grow, getting stronger each step of the way. In the end, both Saiyans return home, having finally come to understand each other, and leaving their animosity behind, instead replaced by their mutual desire to break past anything that comes their way, redefining what it means to be a Saiyan. Nothing much changes for this one into the future, but maybe both Saiyans train together more and get stronger and stronger earlier. Above anything, it's a nice little character piece for them both. And that's the thing about the Vegeta what-ifs. Although there are only a few of them, and sadly they don't venture into Super, they feel a little more character-focused than the others, centering on Vegeta's mindset through the series. His relationship with future Trunks, his boiling frustration, and his mutual respect with Goku. These are my favorite sets of what-ifs, even though they lack some of the spectacle. Of course, it would have been nice to get more. I know we all meme on Vegeta's string battles, but if you actually follow Zard, he has one of the most complete journeys in the series. These what-ifs just kind of Zero gave us both awesome and strange what-if stories. I've already covered Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, so let's switch things around and do a villain this time. The Emperor People himself, Lord Frieza. From what if Frieza killed the Z Fighters, to what if he took Cooler to the Tournament of Power. There's a lot to unpack, so let's begin. We start things off on planet Namek, where Goku lands with Frieza. Instantly, Frieza recognizes Goku as the son of a Saiyan who tried to stand up against him as he destroyed planet Vegeta. Goku swears to defeat Frieza for the sake of the Saiyans, Namekians, and every person he's killed. The other warriors, Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo, all try to stand up against the Emperor.
How I tired swatting these flies.
But no matter what they do, they don't really stand a chance against Frieza. In the end, with an all-powerful blast, Frieza turns Goku into space dust, and soon after kills the rest of his friends.
Take this, you pathetic insect!
With the only line of defense out of the way, Frieza is free to use the Dragon Balls to wish for immortality, although there were no more Namekians around to help him make the wish, and the Grand Elder is dead. But hey, I guess ending the what-if with Frieza trying to find a Namekian dictionary isn't exactly the most exciting. Now Planet Namek is just another world in his roster, and soon the rest of the universe shall fall under his command. With Frieza victorious, he likely visited Earth and destroyed it just to be petty, as what-ifs like Budokai 1 have also shown us. The Galactic Patrol already doesn't get in the way of Frieza, but with immortality, he will expedite the taking over of planets, becoming a universal threat, perhaps even setting his sights on other universes. But eventually, Shin would probably try and wake up Beerus to help out. After all, if Shin dies, so does the God of Destruction. Sure, Frieza is immortal, and Beerus can't kill immortal beings, but Beerus did trap the old guy in the Z-Sword, so I could see there being an F-Sword at Beerus' planet in the future. Frieza kills Krillin in a sadistic attempt to torture Goku before killing him, only to trigger his biggest fear, the legendary Super Saiyan transformation. Frieza does what he can, but is completely overwhelmed by Goku's power, forcing him to attempt to destroy the planet and take his enemy along with him. With 5 minutes left before the planet explodes, Frieza and Goku continue to battle on the collapsing world. But unlike the original story, where Frieza's own hubris becomes his downfall, the Emperor's natural abilities are able to push him well above the Super Saiyan. Goku charges his final Kamehameha, and Frieza his death blow. The two attacks clash in the middle, but as Goku's words echo in his mind, the Emperor musters the power to push back the blast.
Back to the goal. I'm going to kill you again.
Making Goku back, he is knocked out of Super Saiyan, and Frieza is left alone in this dying world. He can't believe he did it, and he screams out to the sky in victory. He is so proud of himself on defeating Goku that he just gives up on becoming immortal. After all, if the Super Saiyan couldn't defeat him, no one could. The Frieza force expands, but remembering just how close he got to being defeated on Namek, Frieza also starts training. Looks like a bit of Goku rubbed up on him. Thus, Frieza slowly becomes the strongest in the universe. I wonder if he would keep all of those planets around. Maybe he doesn't destroy Earth this time, and just annexes it into his empire. So he'll have to deal with Majin Buu, and maybe even the androids. In fact, what if in this universe, since Goku is dead, Jiro reprograms the androids to try and kill Frieza instead of Goku? But with enough training, nothing's gonna stand in his way, and Universe 7 is in a really dark place. This time we find Frieza in pieces floating through space, having just been defeated by the Super Saiyan he feared. He is soon reconstructed and brought to Earth by his father to enact their revenge. But it's not Goku who stands in his way this time, but a mysterious future warrior. Trunks tells Frieza that he's here to kill them, but the Emperor isn't amused. The secret of this young man is that Son Goku isn't the only Super Saiyan. Frieza and Trunks clash as the other Z fighters watch, but the cybernetic augmentations and rage Frieza felt was enough to surpass the Saiyan. Trunks laments that he couldn't buy Earth any more time. I guess the battle took a long time, since as the fight came to an end, a Ginyu Force spacebot landed, none other than Goku. He didn't just teleport in when he felt Trunks was dying, as anyone's guess. But he's not going to stand idly by as Frieza destroys his foe. This is exactly what Frieza wanted, rushing in at Goku. Despite Goku's training on Yardrat, he stands no chance against the Emperor, and so, with Goku's death, Frieza personally travels across the world, destroying it city by city, as punishment for his humiliating defeat on Namek. With his revenge completed, he and his father return to space to conquer even more worlds. Frieza's cybernetic upgrades were kind of a rush job to save his life, so now that there's nothing left to stand in his way, I'm sure he'll get a more refined version, probably hiding all the mechanical parts. Or he could go the other way around and get the insane version of Mecha Frieza with a grenade tail and a giant bazooka from Super Dragon Ball Z. This Frieza will also probably try to train a little bit more, just in case someone like Goku shows up again. Maybe he begins the plan he did in Broly, trying to find other powerful beings to bring into his empire, finding Paragus and his son, growing his power more and more, bringing down the Galactic Patrol and the like. But all of these Frieza wants come down to, is Beerus gonna step in? Because their universal ranking is just gonna plummet. But if Frieza gets strong enough, I'm sure Beerus would be amused, and would want to keep him around, while also keeping an eye on him, to make sure he doesn't get on the line. But in the background, Frieza and King Cold would be planning to expand beyond the reaches of Universe 7. Oh, how I hope that one day we get an arc in a different universe. Frieza has been revived by his forces, and now seeks revenge on the Saiyans. But he knows his power won't be enough to defeat the Super Saiyan who once stood in his way, especially after so many years of adventures. Thus, he trains for the first time in his life, achieving Golden Frieza, a color specifically chosen to mock the splendor of the Super Saiyan who defeated him. Upon arriving on Earth, the Emperor greets the Simians, explaining how excited he is to finally enact his revenge. Although he is surprised to see Vegeta there as well. He was kinda hoping that they just kill each other. No matter, taking out 2 monkeys for the price of 1 is preferable after all. Goku's surprised to see Frieza in the flesh. Last time he saw him, he was split in half on Namek. But as the battle begins, even Goku has to admit just how strong Frieza is. The fruit of Frieza's first time putting in effort is in full display. The two of them transform into their new states, Super Saiyan Blue versus Golden Frieza. It's too bad Frieza is so evil, because he'd make a perfect training partner. Frieza takes this as nothing more than an insult. Halfway through the battle, the god of destruction Beerus appears down on Earth. The Emperor is terrified, one of the few beings who can send a chill down Frieza's spine, even asking if he wants him to stop the battle. But Beerus is entertained, and just tells him to not get dust all over his ice cream. In this alternate story, Frieza had more time to master his golden form, and has to quickly defeat both Goku and Vegeta without needing to bring himself to the point where he has to blow up the planet. No, this time, he has proven his golden superiority, so of course this changes everything. Goku and Vegeta lay on the floor defeated, and he gets ready to kill them both with a death bomb. But just as he's about to launch it, Beerus steps in front of the Saiyans. Frieza descends, confused. He thought that his revenge meant little to Beerus. Was he wrong? But upon seeing Bulma standing behind him, Frieza cocks an eyebrow. Oh, the guy is doing this with the Earthlings, isn't he? How rare for a god of destruction to want to preserve life. Beerus is annoyed at his presumption, and tells Frieza that normally he'd allow him to destroy Earth. He still finds the planet useful. After all, it's because of its inhabitants that Frieza was able to reach this new form in the first place. Really, it seems like Goku's philosophy rubs off on everyone he faces. It was thanks to him and the humiliating defeat that Frieza pushed himself for the first time in his life. So, he will spare the planet under two conditions. First of all, the god should not interfere in Frieza Force plans. And two, he will be allowed to use the Dragon Balls to revive his soldiers. Beerus has no objections, especially seeing as how, besides him and Whis, Frieza is now the strongest in the universe. And so, with Goku and Vegeta defeated, the Emperor brings his army back. The Ginyu Force, Zarbon, and Dodoria. But their old power will not be enough in this new era. And so he begins training them to become the mightiest in all the universes. So a little more time passes, and Frieza once again meets face to face with Lord Beerus, who has a request. The Emperor is needed for the Tournament of Power. Frieza agrees, since if there's no universe, there's nothing for him to rule. But under one condition. Since the Dragon Team is allowed to choose the warriors for the team, he reasons that he should also be allowed to pick his teammates. He would perform better alongside someone he knows and trusts. Beerus asks Frieza who he has in mind, and we get something rare and interesting. Multiple what-ifs within a what-if. We get the option between Dodoria and Zarbon, the Ginyu Force, King Cold, and Cooler out of all people. As far as I remember, this is the only time the only character is used in the story. It's pretty cool. So, let's take it one at a time. Zarbon and Dodoria were Frieza's most trusted advisors back in the golden age of the Frieza Force. They were an obvious choice, though as far as power goes, even with the extra training, they're still far below most warriors. Beerus is a bit confused by this, but Frieza reaffirms that the tournament wouldn't be just about raw strength. They will need warriors with different skill sets who can think quickly on their feet. Still, this is a pretty crazy choice that would likely get everyone killed. But I digress. Beerus accepts, seeing how these soldiers will follow orders better than any of the Z-Fighters ever could. Together, the three enter the tournament, instructing Zarbon and Dodoria to be flexible and improvise, while Frieza keeps an eye out for potential future Frieza Force recruits, something that's a recurring theme in all of these what-ifs. The expansion of the Empire is at hand, and the fight begins. Their first challenge is against Bergamo from Universe 9. Frieza is insulted at the dogs barking at him, while Dodoria mocks him. Bergamo just calls him a fat ass, when suddenly Kakunza lands to fight Frieza as well. Frieza really doesn't care for these animals, and simply wants to fight them both at once, alongside his soldiers. I gotta say, it is an insane sight to see Zarbon and Dodoria in this scenario. One of the cooler ideas in this game, as silly as it is. But as their two enemies are defeated, another opponent enters the fray. Frost.
What is life? Am I playing now? Don't make me talk. You should know better. There is only one Frieza. No one else compares.
There can only be one true Emperor of Evil. Of course, no one could stand up against him, and Frost is easily dispatched. And thanks to his force, Frieza is able to keep his real power secret until the final battle against Jared, where he defeats the Pride Troopers using his golden form. Sadly, none of these really show the wish or anything like that, though the Grand Priest did mention that if a selfish wish was made, such as Frieza wishing for immortality, or the expansion of his empire into other universes, then Zeno would have simply erased everything. So it's not like much else could have happened to be removed, unless Frieza thought of this and wished to become the Omni King himself. Now that would have been an insane turn of events, placing everyone under his control, but allowing the Saiyans to live and suffer under his rule. Goku and the others would have had to train and do everything they can. Maybe Beerus and the other gods of destruction eventually join the rebellion against Frieza, or try to escape to the Demon Realm, where the Omni King doesn't rule, though perhaps a little too dark of a future, with Frieza as the lead. Frieza this time chooses the Ginyu Force, his mightiest soldiers, with strange and impressive abilities. Beerus is perplexed by this choice. That's over half the entire Tournament of Power team, so I wonder who they took out. Roshi, Krillin, Tien, Piccolo, and 18 maybe? Kinda crazy to ditch them for Voldo. Frieza reasons that, although they may not be as strong as Goku and Vegeta, their teamwork is unrivaled. This will be the key to their victory in a battle royale like this. Frieza is confident in his special squad, and, although reluctant, Beerus agrees to allow them into the ring. Surely, this will guarantee their victory royale. And so, Frieza and his special squad propose their way to the Tournament of Power. Just like with the previous choice, Frieza will be scouting new Frieza Force members as he instructs the Ginyu Force to stick together and work as a team. But their first opponent is perhaps Frieza's worst nightmare, the Pride Troopers. Not only are they the strongest team around, but have just as many ridiculous poses as his own Ginyu Force. But that's not all. With Ribrianne's fireballs striking their own poses, the three stylish teams are at odds with each other, and the Emperor feels like throwing up, having a bad feeling about this. Frieza truly wishes he hadn't seen that at all. But if anything, this is exactly what Ginyu wanted to see, telling Frieza that any of these powerful and beautiful poses, I mean warriors, will make fine additions to their empire. Frieza scoffs. This is not what he needs under his command, especially not with that corny fashion sense. Ribrianne and the others take a huge offense to their beauty being insulted, and the battle begins. Let's make a show of it. While Frieza takes down Ribrianne, the Ginyu Force teams up against the other fireballs. The Emperor rarely shows up, while the Ginyus loudly cheer for their Emperor, knocking their team out of bounds with a death beam. But they're not out of the woods just yet, as Toppo challenges them next. Toppo announces that Frieza is too great of a threat, and so this time, the Emperor commands the Force to stand back and watch, blocking anyone from interrupting. This is his battle to win. They scream out embarrassing words of encouragement, while Frieza turns his attention to the Pride Trooper. Frieza mocks Toppo's ideals of justice as meaningless in front of his might, pushing Toppo as far as giving up on those ideals for the sake of the power of the God of Destruction. But it's still not enough. To Frieza, he is nothing but another piece of garbage down the space garbage chute. With an explosion of ki, Toppo is defeated, and thanks to their teamwork, Universe 7 wins once more. It's kind of a missed opportunity not showing the Ginyu Force posing with, like, Anilaza in place of Ginyu's regular body, implying some crazy adventures off screen. I do hope the Ginyu Force convince Frieza to recruit some more stylish fighters into the Force. This time around, Frieza suggests his father to be the one to accompany him to the Tournament of Power. This is probably the weirdest choice, since, I mean, it's kinda crazy he's in the game in the first place. I know he wasn't Tenkaichi 3, but no Super 17. Grievances aside, Beerus had thought that King Cold retired a long time ago, and he is right.
You are correct. However, my father still likes to get his exercise, and he's almost as powerful as I.
This is an insane thing to say, coming from a Frieza who's been training after Resurrection F. So, did he get Golden King Cold? Frieza says that his alliance with Goku is only temporary, and it would be better to have a true ally by his side. Beerus understands, counting on Goku to collect the other members. And so, Frieza and his father join the Tournament of Power, noting that they're not the only father-son duo here, since Goku and Gohan are also there. During the tournament, they will scout talented warriors from other universes. But of course, since we chose two racists for the Tournament of Power, the first target is the Universe 6 Saiyans. King Cold is disgusted by their presence. Frieza even asks if there's more monkeys in his neighborhood. Kale is nervous, but Caulifla says that she'll handle this wannabe Frost. Frieza sees this universe where Saiyans didn't go extinct as the perfect opportunity. He cold wonders if Frieza wants to bring in these Super Saiyans into the army, and all Frieza can do is laugh. Sure, he can't battle Goku, but he can't beat these other Saiyans into submission. Sadly, he also can't kill them. Caulifla is tired of all talking. She just wants to battle, which makes Frieza realize just how similar she is to the Saiyans he reigned over. But as Frieza overwhelms Caulifla, Kale explodes in rage, her power rising, overflowing, and knocking King Cold out of the arena. In the end, Frieza's hatred is enough to bring Kale to her knees.
Kale, come on! Say something!
But thanks to Caulifla's encouragement, she's able to get a hold of herself. With no choices left, his Saiyans fuse into Kefla. This only makes Frieza realize how desperate they must be to try something like that. But he's got his own party tricks, and he doesn't need anyone's help to do it.
Before I send you both plummeting at once, here's a taste of my true form's unrivaled power. You gave yourself some gold plating? What a joke!
Gold and Frieza. Kefla mocks him and rushes in as they clash fists. But even fused, Frieza reigns supreme, and thanks to Frieza single-handedly taking him down, the rest of Universe 7 can save their energies for the final battle, winning the tournament. With the focus on the Saiyans in this what if, it makes me wonder if Frieza would be more interested in going outside of Universe 7 and trying to rule over the Universe 6 Saiyans instead, or just killing them, forcing Vegeta and Goku to team up with Kale, Caulifla, and Kappa in order to stop him. It's about time we get a new arc in a different universe. I saved this one for last because it's the weirdest choice. Well, really, I was just going in order of power, but it's still strange that he is the only movie character in all these stories. Frieza tells Beerus that he'd like to enlist his older brother, Cooler. Beerus is surprised. He thought they weren't on the best of terms. And yes, this is true, but they were once the strongest duo in the universe.
Being cut from the same cloth as me, he's not likely to fall behind the others.
Beerus allows it, as long as there's no family drama on the field. Thus, the lineage of evil makes it to the Tournament of Power. Does this reality's version of Goku know Cooler? Did he fight him, or is this the first time meeting him? Either way, Frieza instructs his brother to do whatever he can to win, while he scouts new talent. This Frieza really wants new Frieza Force members, huh? But as the battles begin, Frieza sees that Cooler is struggling against Hit's time skip. He sneaks up on the assassin and attacks from behind, asking him if he's so rusty as to be unable to knock a single opponent out of bounds. Together, the two brothers get ready for battle, as Hit advises them to just give up. Funny thing is, Frieza was about to say the same thing to him, as he slaps an attack away. It's a difficult battle for the pair, as Hit's time skip is unlike anything they've ever had to deal with. Cooler is impressed by Frieza's abilities in battle, as they clash all over the ring. Finally pushing it out. Thanks to this, Universe 7 continues to win the tournament, and the legend of the Cold Clan spreads across the universe. Sadly, this is the shortest one of them all. I feel like you could have done Cooler stuff with Cooler. Since Cooler is part of this timeline, their victory together would likely mean more cooperation between the two brothers, as the Frieza Force expands across the universes. In order to keep up with his brother, Cooler would likely train to achieve his own version of Golden, or whatever color he chooses, I guess. And despite their teamwork, jealousy, and a desire to conquer would likely get in the way. Even with Goku and the others trying to stop them, I could see Vegeta pulling no jutsu in Cooler and convincing him that the true enemy is Frieza. After all, he's taking up stuff that could be his own, leading a civil war that would lead into a mutual destruction, where Frieza would probably win because he's the more experienced and master of the Golden form. Though Goku and the others would team up alongside Cooler, and after he falls, it would be just enough to push Frieza over the edge and bring the Empire down. Well, that's just a hypothesis way into the future that would likely never happen. Or you could say it's just a theory, a sparking zero theory. The main theme across all of these was Frieza wanting new members, so it makes me wonder who exactly he chose. Maybe the people from Universe 9? They seem like the worst ones, the most evil. They would probably do anything to get out of the universe. Frieza's what-ifs attempt to take things into a different route. I wish there was more for him to do in the Frieza arc, maybe showing him dealing with the androids or Boo after beating the heroes. But the idea that he is the one that gets all the different options for the Tournament of Power is pretty funny, and we get some neat interactions we would have never gotten otherwise. I mean, the Ginyu Force reacting to all the poses from all the other teams is just a lot of fun. But like with many of the other what-ifs, I wish there was just more. Zero brought us some crazy what-if stories. I've already covered Goku and Vegeta, so it's time to go over our favorite nerdy Saiyan, Gohan. From someone who's stealing his body and becoming Gohan Black, to when Gohan stopped Spopovich from beating Videl. There's a lot to unpack, so let's dive in. We start the first what if in the middle of the battle between Super Saiyan Gohan and Cell, with Goku having entrusted the fate of the world to his son. But when Gohan holds back, Cell takes the chance to unleash the Cell Juniors and have them attack the heroes. But thanks to Android 16's words, Gohan is finally able to unleash his power into Super Saiyan 2 to unlock the what if. Gohan has to defeat the Cell Junior as fast as possible. A singular Cell Junior. The other ones must have gotten too scared and ran off, which causes Cell to show up in his place. Beating up his kids got him really upset. They then have to quickly defeat Cell as well. Ultimately, Gohan is able to finish off the Bio Android once and for all. With a blast up to the sky, he smiles into the distance. The world free from Cell, Nucleus, and all. Goku approaches his son and congratulates him for being the savior he knew him to be. His son defeated and no casualties. The future seems clearer than ever. Goku and Gohan will likely train more together over the 7 years, adding Goten into the equation eventually. With Goku around, Vegeta will also get that rematch he always wanted, and much more through the years. Probably no homage at Vegeta. Overall, the Saiyans are looking to be stronger than normal. Though, without Otherworld, Goku will have a harder time discovering Super Saiyan 3. But knowing him, he'll just show up with it discovered anyways and pull it out against Boo. Unless Goku and Vegeta find out about it together. It's a short and simple what-if story, and we're just beginning. Next up, we have a what-if based on the highest viewed Dragon Ball Z episode in Japan, weirdly enough. The World Tournament is on its way, but Videl's match against Spopovich is turned into a bloodbath. The episode following Videl's beating was the highest viewed in Japan, which just tells me that people really wanted to see Gohan beat the snot off of Spopovich. And that's exactly what we're about to do. The game gives us the option to stay calm or attempt to stop the fight. I don't really want my girlfriends to die, so we'll step in. Although the others try to stop them, Gohan explodes into Super Saiyan and crushes in at Spopovich. Gohan knocks a few teeth off, but just like in the original story, Shin paralyzes Gohan, allowing Spopovich and Yamu to take his energy. Of course, this was part of the plan to follow the Majins to Babidi's spaceship, but Spopovich really had it coming. He's gonna be one of the most hateable characters in Dragon Ball. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, sadly. Nothing really changes except for Gohan getting his frustrations and anger out. Maybe this means he'll be able to fight with more fury against Dabura. And speaking of which... Following the last wave, Gohan and the others make their way to Babidi's spaceship. They're about to face the Demon King Dabura, but Vegeta berates Gohan, telling him that he's a far call from the young boy who defeated Cell.
As things are now, I can knock him over in my sleep.
And that only if he snaps will they get a real show. Normally, Dabura would give Gohan a run for his money, which ends up frustrating Vegeta even more. Not this time. Dabura lands and the battle begins. As a Super Saiyan 2, we need to prove ourselves to Vegeta and finish off the Demon King quickly. Gohan defeats Dabura with a powerful Kamehameha, clearing a path to Babidi and Boo. In the end, we're able to stop the resurrection, and this small adventure comes to an end. If only Dabura had the evil third eye. I'm not exactly sure what they do with the egg after that. Maybe Beerus Hakaizen eventually. Goku is happily surprised by Gohan's power, and now he wants to spar with him. So the players return to the World Tournament, finally able to enjoy a few matches. Assuming they finish the adventure early enough, that is. Goku and Vegeta's battle would surely be the most spectacular one, but seeing how Goku really wants to fight Gohan here, I could see him beating Vegeta and the father-son duo being one of the last few matches. Gohan would likely win while Goku keeps Super Saiyan 3 a secret until after the tournament. Otherwise, we would get that stage transition where everybody runs out of there. But seeing how his daughter just got beaten half to death, I think Gohan would let Mr. Satan win. Goku would then show Super Saiyan 3 to Gohan and Vegeta, showing that despite being dead, he's no slouch, and they better not slow down either. And so, Goku returns to Otherworld. This is another simple what if about Gohan getting slightly angrier and beating someone faster. The next one is similar, but with a few more interesting implications. Gohan makes his way ready to stop Super Goku. Only for him to absorb Piccolo and Gotenks. To save his friends and family, Gohan takes down Goku as fast as possible, not letting his new powers get to his head. Because of this, Gotenks' time runs out within Goku, and he goes back to his normal self, ignoring the fact that he should have technically become his Piccolo-absorbed version, since they didn't want to make a new model for him. Who instead tries to absorb Gohan, but the Saiyan is way too fast, and easily avoids the absorption, and blasting him away with an all-consuming Kamehameha that disintegrates the Majin to his last atom. And so, he returns to Earth, though without Vegeta to go inside and rescue everyone. The kids, Piccolo and Fat Buu, all die, but I guess most of them died in the actual story anyways, so Gohan is the hero once more. Since Gohan proved his power, maybe this will encourage him to train even more, and of course, pique the interest of Vegeta, will force him to spar. Surely Gohan will return to his studies though, but now his role as protector of Earth is cemented, so maybe he'll actually show up in Daima, going to the Demon Realm and taking things a little more seriously than Goku. He could be the first Super Saiyan God if they find Taro, but I think it's more interesting to have him become Beast Early instead. Without enough Saiyans for the ritual, Beerus would want to destroy the planet, and in order to protect his friends and family, Gohan unleashes the Beast Early. Sure, it's no Super Saiyan God, but Beerus would be impressed. There's no way Vegeta will let him get ahead though, and goes to train at Beerus's. Something I don't think Gohan will want to right away, since he just became a father. Because Gohan was the one to achieve that next level, I could see Goten and Trunks also wanting to put in more effort. So even if Goku isn't around, Earth is still being protected. This is the big one of the best in the game. The one that got leaked just before it came out and everyone freaked out. You really had to be there, it looked unbelievable. Our story begins around Resurrection, and it's been a long time since Gohan has taken fighting seriously. Now that he's a great scholar and has a daughter, all plus Goku goes off to train with Beerus. But a dark cloud looked overhead as Frieza was revived by his underlings and seeks revenge as he invades Earth. The team, except for Yamcha, comes together to face Frieza and asks what he wants. But it's obvious, he wants revenge for what the Saiyans have done to him. But Goku isn't around, and Frieza won't leave until he hears his cries for mercy. Bulma does a bit of her own power scaling, and says that since Gohan defeated Cell as a kid, then he should be able to take down Frieza easily. But it's not that simple. Frieza did like 10 push-ups on the way to Earth, so he's clearly a lot stronger. This makes Frieza realize that he's dealing with Goku's son, who attacked him back on Namek. In response, he sends out a single Frieza soldier. It's funny because this was obviously supposed to be either Takuma or Shizame, but the game only throws a rando at us. Piccolo wants to help, but Gohan is firm on this. He's not a kid anymore, so this Gohan is already much more headstrong than usual. As he explains during the fight, this is all because his daughter was born that year, and it's his duty to protect the peace of the world, so she can live a happy life. Gohan is able to easily take down the soldier, only for Frieza to enter the battlefield. To activate the what-if, Gohan has to take as little damage as possible while getting Frieza lower in health, forcing him to transform into his final form, and Gohan bursts into Super Saiyan 2. Frieza is surprised by Gohan's power, truly the son of Goku, while Gohan himself is slowly regaining his fighting spirit. Gohan proclaims that now that he's defeated Frieza's final form, they're done here. Also, Goten and Trunks are now here, while everybody else except for Piccolo is gone. But Frieza isn't done yet. If anything, Gohan acting in his father's place only angered him more. The Emperor fires a death beam at the kids, but Gohan jumps in the way, trying to kill his friends and family. While Gohan was giving him a chance to leave is the one thing he's not going to forgive. So Gohan tweaks out and regains his ultimate form. Frieza is surprised to see that, despite not having his ridiculous golden hair, he's even stronger than a Super Saiyan. Frieza sees this as pure arrogance, something he is more than willing to match. As he ascends into Golden Frieza, the Emperor claims that he'll show mercy and keep his suffering to a minimum if they surrender. But Gohan stands firm. He's come this far to protect those he loves, showing us that he hasn't stopped training. Gohan's power rises to the max. Coupled with his rage, he's ready to continue the battle, showing Piccolo a smirk as he gets ready. Although Frieza wants to kill Goku, murdering Gohan is a good option too, but he won't get the chance. Gohan's ultimate state makes all of Frieza's attacks seem slow in comparison. Frieza's losing both the fight and his mind, showing mercy. Gohan says that if he stops now and retreats, then the assault will stop. But Frieza refuses, seeing every word coming out of Gohan's mouth as an insult. In the end, Gohan pushes Frieza to his limits. Gohan defeats Frieza once and for all, tapping out ultimate. Clearly extremely worn out by the encounter, the kids celebrate with him. But the battle made both Piccolo and Gohan realize just how rusty he is. Although he was stronger, he was still fighting for his life out there. He can't just run away and cry like when he was a kid. And with so much to protect at stake, yes, Piccolo to once again train together like old times. Gohan and Piccolo begin their new training journey, even visiting the sacred realm of the Kais, and developing his ultimate form more and more. He's even invited to the Universe 6 tournament, ditching his presentation unlike the normal timeline. This is when the fast fight in the whole game happens. A still image of space with Gohan and Hit fighting, because there's no Universe 6 stage. This one screenshot is so incredible that all the other universes watch it on Batu. At the world of the Kais, Goku congratulates Gohan, but the scholar isn't satisfied just yet, knowing that he would have likely lost in a real battle. To everyone's surprise, Vegeta is the one to encourage Gohan and tell him that he is training hard enough and that his power is impressive. Shin also explains that while the old guy helped, it was Gohan's own determination that pushed him to where he is now. So much so that the other Kais are talking about it. Gohan's a bit embarrassed by this, and so some time passes. Back at Capsule Corp, Gohan has begun training with Goten and Trunks when suddenly a familiar time machine appears. It's Trunks, and he's severely injured. When he regains consciousness, he immediately attacks Gohan. After hearing his voice, he starts to calm down, only for a dark presence to appear overhead. Gohan and Trunks rush towards the strange portal in the sky. Through it, someone unbelievable appears. Gohan himself. The dark and twisted energy. Gohan is confused, but Trunks explains that this is Gohan in body, not in spirit. Black has arrived through a tear in space-time created by the Time Ring. He was trying to follow Trunks, but turns his attention to Gohan with a smile. Trunks rushes in, but is easily slapped away. Together, the half-Saiyans are ready to fight, with Black admitting that he'd been looking forward to a battle against Gohan in this new body. While Gohan is still confused, his instincts tell him that this may be the worst enemy yet. Starting off in Super Saiyan 2, Gohan says that he hates fighting this twisted mirror version of himself, wondering if it's even possible. But no matter how much Black is damaged, it'll only make him stronger and stronger. In the middle of the fight, Black is pulled back through the portal and into the future. The team retreat and rest, while Goku, Beerus, and Whis arrive back at Capsule Corp. Trunks explains everything. Black appeared in the future and proclaimed that he'd kill every mortal for the sake of his twisted justice. Trunks came back in time to ask for everyone's help before it's too late for his timeline. But now that he's seen Gohan have a family and a career, he doesn't want to rope his old friend into this. But Gohan can see the conflict within Trunks, and he offers his help. Whis and Beerus also explain that the ring Black was wearing was a time ring, a divine artifact reserved for the Kaioshin. Just like in the original story, Beerus and Whis suspect that a Kai in training named Zamasu may be the one responsible for this, and decide to pay a visit to Kawasu in Universe 10. Gohan goes along with them and spars with Zamasu, but their investigation proves fruitless. Instead, Gohan, Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku head back to the future to save the world. Once there, they are all in shock to see the death and destruction. They're confronted by both Black and Zamasu. This confuses everyone, since they thought that Black and Zamasu were the same person while fighting Gohan. Zamasu explains his plan to achieve paradise, and how he and Black are comrades. But no matter what they throw at them, Zamasu just recovers, revealing that he is immortal. Things are looking hopeless, as Trunks tells everyone to escape to the past, figure out a plan, and recover. It's a bitter defeat for our heroes. Back in the present, Beerus destroys Zamasu to prevent any more atrocities in their own timeline. Beerus says that this should get rid of the future Zamasu, clearly unaware of the parallel timelines theory. So, in the meantime, Piccolo teaches Gohan the Mafuba, a technique used on the original King Piccolo long ago to seal him away. This may be their only chance to defeat the immortal Zamasu. In a quiet, touching scene, Gohan asks his master to be honest with him. Can Gohan really do this? Can he help save the future? After all, the evil containment wave has a very small window of success. Piccolo stops Gohan, telling him that this isn't the time for self-doubt. They all know just how powerful he is, telling his student that he knows that
If you have the will, you can do anything. That includes using the evil containment wave and saving Trunks. And you know I'd have no reason to lie to you, right?
The Saiyan thanks Piccolo and promises to save the future. Thus, the team return to the future timeline, where they find Trunks facing off against Black and Zamasu. It's time for Gohan to confront Black. The evil Saiyan transforms into Ultimate Rose? I don't know, he transforms into something. This isn't just potential unleashed. This is him unleashing his godly power within. But Black's knowledge of the Supreme Kai ritual gives him a hint at his true identity. Black says that Gohan's godly potential awakening is nothing more than a mortal trying to get close to godhood, only further exemplified by the battle against Hit, proving just how arrogant these mortals are to see themselves as above the gods. This finally pieces everything together. Zamasu had stolen Gohan's body using the Super Dragon Balls, granting him unimaginable power. Black and Zamasu rise to the sky and proclaim their true power of the gods, taking off one Potara each and fusing into Merge Zamasu. It's kinda hard to tell at first, but he does have a new design based on Gohan Black. Zamasu proclaims his new reign as the Saiyans fire their attacks all at once, rejecting his dark justice, only for Zamasu to lay up judgment and stomp out their blasphemy. All the while, Zamasu mocks Gohan by telling him just how his family suffered when he killed them. Pan, Videl, both dead in the timeline where Zamasu stole his body. His face had been the last one they saw. This forces Gohan back into the fight, his rage rising to the max. But once he comes to his senses, he realizes just how hurt his allies are. They retreat and recover with senzu beans. At long last, it's time for the final battle. The way Zamasu sees it, Gohan is using an undeserved power granted to him by the gods. So Gohan is ready to prove just how worthy he really is. With a clean hit to the stomach, Zamasu's body begins to twist and deform, and the immortal body of Zamasu, being at complete odds with each other, Gohan and Goku fire their father's son Kamehameha and merge Zamasu. This slows down Zamasu, and while he tries to recover, Goku tells Gohan that he's out of energy, but to save the senzu bean, this is now up to the next generation. It's Gohan and Trunks' fight to finish. Trunks refuses to stay behind, and together, the two half Saiyans rush back into action. The corrupted Zamasu promises to crush them all, but with courage in their hearts and an unbreakable willpower of light. The pair push Zamasu to the brink, but it's not enough just yet. How will they escape next? To the past? To the future? When will they accept his justice? But Gohan reaffirms that justice isn't the only power out there. His true power comes from his friends and family. Compared to the gods, they may be weak, but they're not ashamed of that. Gohan saved Trunks once before, and it inspired him to do the same for everyone else. That trust we place on each other as human beings is where our real strength lies. Zamasu tries to attack one more time, but the team fire a Juba Masenko at the god, their bond transcending time and space. Goku and Vegeta encourage their sons. The blast overwhelming Zamasu. This gives Goku the chance to throw the Buffalo Jar at Trunks, while Gohan concentrates and fires the containment wave. Zamasu is helpless against the pull of the technique. How is this possible? How could a mortal defeat a god? His voice drowned out as the jar was sealed, and the world finally saved. Gohan and the others, though hurt, take a second to celebrate. Trunks' timeline is really safe. Vegeta and Goku tell Trunks that he's more than welcome to stay in the present, but the future warrior chooses to stay behind, knowing that it's his responsibility to help rebuild. And more than anyone, Gohan understands that, relaying the words his own master said to him.
I believe that you can do anything, Trunks.
And so, with that improved ending, the team return to the present, waving goodbye to Trunks. Gohan goes back to his wife and daughter. After so many battles, he can finally rest for a little bit. He wouldn't have been able to do it alone, but he knows that he can't count on his friends and family to support him. It's that it's thanks to them that he's grown into the husband, father, scholar, and warrior that he is now. And with that sentiment, Gohan sets his sights on protecting the future of his world. This epic story ends here, but with a much more confident and powerful Gohan. I'm sure he'd be a bit more effective in the Tournament of Power because of this, though I wonder if they would still want Frieza, since Goku never got to see his power. Either way, Gohan could unlock Beast State earlier here too, perhaps stepping in to protect his father after Ultra Instinct runs out the first time. The sheer power of that kick against Jiren could knock multiple opponents out of bounds. It would be like in the manga, Kefla versus Gohan, but Gohan Beast. together, teaming up in the final battle against the mortal who surpassed the gods. Barely able to tap into Super Saiyan after their new power fails them, this is a Gohan who's taken his role as protector of Earth much more seriously, which is something I know a lot of fans love, though I do wonder if this gets in the way of his work-life balance. Or maybe he just takes his work into the time chamber to get things done faster. You know how many videos I could get done in there? This is probably the single longest what if in the game, and it's a lot of fun. It's great to see an actual what if character in Gohan Black, which is kind of rare to see nowadays. I think that Xenoverse will give us more things like this. It's a real power fantasy for Gohan fans, and if the game had been released with Beast Gohan, I'm sure he would have been included in the story too. Maybe Beast Rose or something. Gohan passing on Piccolo's teachings to Trunks is just chef's kiss. Though it is rare that they skip over Universe 6 every time. But anyways, we have one more Gohan what if to explore. Gohan had been training little by little after Resurrection F, and so his father visits him to ask him to join the Tournament of Power as team captain. In order to prepare, Gohan trains with Piccolo even more, and his master uses the multi-form technique. So the Tournament of Power begins. We find Gohan and Piccolo fighting back-to-back against the Universe 6 Namekians. He doesn't trust Frieza as a teammate, even having a small battle against him, so he sticks around with Piccolo. But as the tournament progresses, Goku obtains Ultra Instinct, Piccolo is eliminated, and the Universe 17 unites forces against Anilaza. The last few teams remaining are 11 and 7. Although reluctant, Gohan helps his old enemy out as Frieza struggled in battle against Dispo. Now they're forced to fight together as a team. Dispo is cocky though, and claims that he'll just knock them out of bounds. But in this what if, we're just fast enough to beat him. Gohan falls to his knees in exhaustion, while Frieza joins Android 17 in battle against Toppo. Pushed against the edge, Toppo lets go of all of his ideals and embraces the power of the God of Destruction. With a bit of stamina recovered, Gohan watches as 17 and Frieza are blasted away by Toppo. The God of Destruction to be claims that there is no such thing as justice, just being and absence of being. Vegeta faces him next, but Toppo claims that the prince's cause is trivial. As a destroyer, he chooses what will and will not exist. Vegeta is insulted. He fights for his family, for the oath he made Kakarot, for the Saiyan pride, for all he's built and all he is. He won't give up on what he believes in, unlike Toppo. Inspired by Vegeta's resolve, Gohan jumps in, butting into a personal moment. But I guess Vegeta needed help. It's actually really cool that this what if is kind of focused on Vegeta and Gohan. Nowadays it's a rare pairing, but through the series it's pretty obvious that Vegeta respects Gohan. They push the blast back and get ready to continue the battle. Toppo uses his destruction energy against the duo, but they're not gonna give up. While Gohan takes care of Toppo, Vegeta gathers energy within himself for one final battle. But Gohan interrupts them. He won't let Vegeta sacrifice himself. If they win, they'll win together. With their combined efforts, Vegeta and Gohan push Toppo out of the arena, just as the Grand Priest calls for a game over. The time has run out, and with the most warriors still active, Universe 7 wins. Damn, I bet Goku felt cheated out of that exciting fight. Gohan can't believe it, but Vegeta asks why he's so surprised. It was his promise to win together. He encourages Gohan to stand proud before they leaving behind. Gohan wishes for all the universes lost to be restored to life. But the real reward for the half Saiyan is to return to his loving wife and daughter. The universe saved once again, thanks to Gohan's efforts. Since Gohan contributed so much to the tournament and was inspired by Vegeta's speech, I could see him keeping on training a lot more and performing way better against the Gammas. But nothing else really changes here, and so with Gohan as the winner of the Tournament of Power and saving the multiverse, his what ifs come to an end. But I want to know what your favorite one was. There is a lot to like about Gohan's what ifs here, though a lot of them just boil down to Gohan getting slightly more upset and trying for future Trunks. Get it? Anyways, we've done Gohan, Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza, so now let's go back to the one who killed Frieza, and cover every single future Trunks what if in Sparking Zero. Unlike the others, which go far with far, future Trunks' run stems from just one specific point, defeating Zamasu. So everything depends on that. Let's begin. We start future Trunks' first what if story in the middle of the fight fight between Black and Trunks. The god accuses Trunks of being a sinner for having saved Goku in the past, and splitting the timeline. That the time machine fuels his mortal arrogance. I usually play these games in Japanese, but I gotta say, there's some fantastic performances here, especially by James Marsters. What a great pick for Zombies.
You help to launch Project Zero More.
Future Trunks fights with his whole soul and heart, arguing that all he ever wanted to do was save his fellow humans from monsters like Black and Zanzu. If that's the sin, then it's a sin worth fighting for. It's funny, since the regular Future Trunks from Super has his ultimate as the Sword of Hope, they just replace it with Z Trunks' ultimate instead. I wish you could actually play as this version here. But he's let him pick the ultimate. Trunks struggles to allow Goku and Vegeta to escape back to the past, but in this reality, Trunks comes along with him too. So when Piccolo suggests the Mothball, he teaches it to Trunks directly, instead of him having to learn it from a YouTuber. The plan is sure to work on an immortal being, and when they go back to the future, Trunks keeps his eyes peeled for an opening. Thankfully, Zamazu's immortality has made him reckless during fights, making it much easier for the future warrior. Zamazu keeps on taking damage, but recovering from every blow. Still, he may be immortal, but he's not invincible. Finding the right timing, Trunks fires the Mothball at Zamazu. Finally, he can show the god what the true power of humanity is, locking away the monster in the Mothball jar, and ending it. For now. But another Zamazu remains. And although Goku and Vegeta are keeping him preoccupied, it's not gonna last forever. Trunks quickly rushes back to help out, rushing in with a microaggression. Black! Black can't believe that Trunks survived his battle against Zamazu, and is even more surprised to hear that Zamazu was defeated. Goku and Vegeta stand alongside Trunks to encourage him. Clearly, they don't really have a hope of winning now, but have completely demoralized Black's plans and ideals. Still, Black tries to convince Trunks and the others to accept defeat, but Trunks won't give up, channeling all the hopes and sorrows of those Black killed into his being, to push Black into the brink, as Goku Black himself allows his hatred for mortals to consume him, becoming visibly disheveled. Trunks fires a Gallic gun, Black fires his twisted Kamehameha. While the future warrior struggles, his father joins him with his own Gallic gun. Vegeta reminds his son about everything Black has taken from him, the destruction of his world, and above all, the death of his mother, bringing that rage out bomb as the final push to defeat Black. The god can't believe that his wrath was not enough, as the blast consumes him, and he is forced to admit that Trunks really has surpassed the god. Trunks gives Gowazu the jar containing Zamazu. Hopefully he doesn't, accidentally knock it over or something. But at long last, Isis returns to the future timeline, but at such a high cost. Trunks knows that he needs to continue getting stronger, finding new challenges, so he doesn't have to rely on Goku and Vegeta anymore. And with that, our first What If comes to an end. But we kind of move directly from this to the next one. But first, what would happen afterwards? Well, the future timeline is safe, and no destruction was needed, meaning that future Trunks can help rebuild everything with the help of Mine, whom I don't think is actually ever mentioned once in the entire game, outside of Kid Mine. Maybe he could then get the Dragon Raider from the past, and with Goku's help, locate New Heaven, asking their help to restore things to the way it was before Zamazu attacked. I do wonder if Bulma would want to return though. At this point, she's been through so much, and she finally gets to be with her friends. Well, except for Vegeta. Future Vegeta's definitely no. Trunks will have to train to ensure peace remains, but I guess there's no real threats that we know of which could come after him. Broly is probably off burying Paragus, and the Reprobate army is gone. At max, maybe Tacoma and Sorbet come to Earth trying to find the Dragon Balls, only to be disappointed. This also means that we don't get a second Zeno in the present timeline, so the normal Zeno is probably gonna keep on annoying Goku. Alright, this doesn't exactly come right after the last What If. This comes after the regular ending of the Goku Black arc, where Zeno destroys the universe. So Trunks returns to the past along with the rest, but none of Whis is offered him a chance to return to a point before Zamasu destroyed his world. Will he stay in the past for longer, or return to make his world a better place? All Might is sad that he has to leave so soon, and while Vegeta tries to tell her not to get sentimental, she makes a good argument. Will Vegeta want to train with them a little more? Trunks thinks about it. If he stays, he can become stronger than ever, more capable of protecting his world. So we get the choice. Do we stay so he can ensure the safety of his world. Bulma is ecstatic about this, or at least as ecstatic as her character model will allow her. It's actually really sweet, and Bulma says that no matter the timeline, this is his home. I like to think that she was talking to me too. So Trunks and Vegeta train over the next few days. One of these days, their training is interrupted. Piccolo requests that Gohan joins them, so he too can prepare for the battles ahead. So we first fight Vegeta to really prove how far our training has taken us. All the while, Vegeta taunts us to encourage them and to build out the fight to come out with full force. Then Piccolo switches out. It's a rare character moment here to hear Trunks talk proudly about how Gohan was his martial arts master, even if Piccolo can't picture it.
This will be a good chance to learn any demon-style techniques he taught you. Allow me to show you how to fight like a demon.
And finally, Gohan jumps into action to see what his old friend is up to and how much stronger he really is. Sadly, he's been caught getting stuck in a little too much, but Trunks encourages Gohan to go all out. That's what it is. We all do with some friends. Beat them fast enough. Then Trunks ends up satisfied with the training he received. And that he returns to the future. His friends come to wave goodbye, even Androids. This is just Gohan doesn't necessarily get close to what he really does. I think Trunks does a little better than we do. We managed to keep ourselves against the team. A little different than usual, a little more personal. Trunks is more determined than ever to protect the world his master died for. But this moment also makes Trunks feel as if he needs to stay for longer and strain even more to truly be ready and ensure that no one will ever feel the pain he felt when he lost Gohan. Since he's staying in the past for longer, he's there for when Bulma reveals that she's pregnant again with It's kind of sad that we didn't get something like this. His sister, this piques Trunks' interest. Gohan is surprised that he doesn't know. I'm kind of surprised too. It was the whole epicenter of Black and Samsu's plan, and no one bothered to tell him. Gohan explains just Vegeta can see the determination in Trunks' eyes, and together they enter the time chamber just like old times. Since weapons are forbidden, Trunks instead focuses on polishing his hand-to-hand combat. This is pretty cool, because the developers had to actually make DBS Trunks without a sword, which sadly we can't play as normal. But it really finds out how good the Lucid teams and especially his new baby sister. Gohan is called upon as the leader, but as soon as the battle starts, Vegeta and Goku throw all caution to the wind and rush in without care, looking for strong foes. Here, we get another choice. Will Trunks follow his father, Vegeta? It's my turn. The simple option is Vegeta, so let's choose that first. Trunks tells Gohan that he can't just leave his his father on his own. And Gohan understands. Trunks rushes by his father's side as the Universe 6 Saiyans close in, but he's intercepted by Kappa. Just because he's his master's son, it doesn't mean he'll move easier. He needs to win. Universe 6, but in reality, there is fighting for the same cause. It's kind of an obvious thing to do, but always it's such a quiet place to live. Vegeta suffers, Vegeta's forces him to transform as well. And after defeating Kappa, Trunks can't help but admit that he really is a true Saiyan. But Kappa thinks him great. It's a bittersweet victory. He knows that with every opponent he takes down, it's one step closer to the entire annihilation of the Universe. He thinks of the friends and family he's fighting for, but questions the morality of all this. It really puts into perspective just how dark the tournament really is. As he thinks this, a huge explosion of heat draws his attention. While that vacant berserker rage, Vegeta tries to get up and reprimand his son, but there's no time for that. As KO attacks, she mindlessly continues to ask for Goku to go back to her again, but Vegeta isn't impressed. And right this fucking outcome like that is not going to be enough. It's not the last Trunks and Vegeta fight again, and about halfway through, Goku joins the break. The two Saiyans battle for the rest of the game. Rally opposing Vegeta, Trunks still living up, despite everything at stake. Vegeta turns to the stands and tells them that once the tournament is over, they better train and get stronger so they can have that rematch. He's confused. The universe is going to be arranged. Vegeta knows what he's doing. He's going to win, and he's going to push them back using the Super Dragon Balls. Vegeta asks Trunks what he thinks, and if they're gonna have to fight, who gets the wish. But Trunks knows it's not necessary. He's already made up his mind. Even if he wants to bring back his loved ones, he can't sacrifice entire universes for them. Together, the father and son duel return to the battlefield, while the Pride Troopers, Goku and Jiren, approach the survivors. Trunks, Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, and 17 are the last few warriors remaining. Through the battles, Goku unlocks Ultra Instinct, while Vegeta battles Topo. Vegeta is driven by a desire to reach Kakarot and win the tournament, trying to make Ultra Instinct his own, avoiding Topo's attacks as much as he can, so he can keep his promise to Baba. But it's no use. Topo pushes Vegeta back as Trunks steps up. Topo tells him how useless this pursuit of godly power is. Even gods of destruction have trouble with Ultra Instinct. So there's no Vegeta or Trunks, but saying that if he too made a promise, then he doesn't need to hear it. This infuriates Trunks. They're not fighting for some selfish desire. They're fighting for others, for their friends, their family, the dreams of those who will follow, the hopes of those who will follow. It's because Vegeta now fights for them that he's as strong as he is. Topo doesn't care. He gave up on his own ideals of justice to achieve the power of a god, to survive. There's no way Trunks could overcome what he's given up, and he won't give up on his ideals to achieve it. Trunks faced the god before, and he proved the one who knows. It's time he does it again. It's best to add that he doesn't mention that Trunks here, and he's take it out just yet. And together, Super Saiyan Trunks and Super Saiyan Vegeta. Vegeta fires a Gatling gun, which Topo hides out of the way, only for Trunks to appear behind him and slam his face, grab his leg, and throw him up to the sky for a heat dome attack. Earth, 2330. A ball of dust, devoid of any life.
happened on Earth in the past couple hundred years? How exactly did the Earth go from a big ball of water and life to a completely inhospitable wasteland? So you continue to find very hot spoilers. I'll tell about the spoilers in Starfield. Earth and the people. It's spoilers for just the Earth will exploring vast and new Atlantis, and humanity became aware of Earth's imminent collapse in the year 2150.
In 2150, humanity learned that Earth's magnetosphere would collapse sometime in the next half-century, eliminating all life on the planet.
That was 180 years ago. Sure enough, the magnetosphere collapsed in the year 2203. The last colony ship left Earth in 2199, which means